In today's quick tip video, we're going to talk about sources of wire for your homebrew projects and testing needs. Many older consumer electronics devices, such as old VCRs and early CD players, had a lot of these types of wiring harnesses. And the wire used in them is often pretty decent quality and stranded, so they're kind of flexible and durable, and make really good hookup wires for anything you might be building on the bench. But there's actually a lot more to it as well. Many of these devices, particularly things like CD players and VCRs, often contain harnesses with shielded wire or coaxial cable in them. Now, these may not be 50 ohm cable, but shielded wires can be really handy if you're building projects that are sensitive to noise pickup or things like that. So keep a lookout for the shielded wire assemblies inside of these wiring harnesses. In addition to the wire, oftentimes the wires themselves are terminated in connectors, like this one here. These little tiny connectors can be useful test sockets when testing things like resistors or capacitors, or even things like diodes and transistors with dedicated testers like this. These little 3-position sockets can be really handy as transistor test sockets for things like a curve tracer. Put a couple of banana plugs at the end of the wiring harness, and you got yourself a nice convenient way of connecting these devices up if you don't have maybe the appropriate fixture that plugs into the curve tracer. Even if you don't have that fancy curve tracer and you might have just a very simple transistor checker, sometimes transistors like this can be difficult to test because the pinout may not match the pinout of the socket that's on it, and using the alligator clips to connect up to the leads, sometimes they get all close together and they short out. By simply using one of these 3-wire socketed connections and putting a set of banana plugs at the end of it, you can connect them up as you need to the tester and make it very easy to test. These connectorized wiring harnesses can make really handy little test fixtures for some tricky situations, like this little 10 picofarad capacitor. Its leads are too short to directly connect up to the terminals. If I use regular clip leads, just physically holding or dressing those leads around can dramatically change the measured value. And maybe you don't have time or materials to build a little custom test fixture, for example, to stick onto the meter to make those measurements. These little nearly free wiring harnesses are a great solution for that. The lesson here is don't simply recycle that old VCR or CD player. Go and rip the wiring harnesses out of it. You'll have a great source for hookup wire for the projects you might be working on. Also a great source for things like socketed connections to make your own test harnesses to test devices with your electronic test equipment. And also it's a really good source oftentimes for shielded wire, which can be quite expensive if you went to buy it. I hope you enjoyed today's little quick tips video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And as always, remember to click that little bell down on the bottom of the YouTube player to get reminded when I post a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all next time.